Hello, one and all. Welcome back to the No Limits podcast. Today I have a very special guest. That is Ashley Lynn. She is a business owner, a content creator, an author, a poet, a painter, an artist, and a chef. So first things first, are you happy with that intro or would you like to add anything?
Yeah, I'm happy with it. There's lots, yeah.
Great. So
All the
welcome to the
things.
show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, we have a few things to talk about. You know a lot about a wide range of topics, but I really wanted to talk about the law of attraction. So where would you like to start?
Um, I guess I'll just start from the beginning, like where I learned about this, the law of attraction. So I was in college and I was, you know, looking for a life partner and just got out of, a relationship. And somehow The Secret came my way, the movie The Secret. So I watched that movie and it just like blew open all these doors for me. And I figured out how to use the law of attraction. And I basically manifested my life partner in no time at all. And then everything since then has been just like this chain of law of attraction events, one after another, just all the things. My whole life since then has been because of the law of attraction.
So you had mentioned The Secret. Now, is this a feature film that most people have seen, or
Oh, this is an old film, and a lot of people say that this isn't like the best example for law of attraction, but for some, I don't know, it was just the beginning for me. Yeah, who wrote it? It's a whole series. There's a book, the movie by Rhonda Byrne.
okay?
So there's that, and then there's Abraham Hicks. I follow them much more now than The Secret, but it was just my starting point.
And I know you have written quite a good deal about this specific subject. Now, does this stuff just pour out of you when you learn something this kind of life-changing and you just want to tell the world?
Yeah, for sure.
Did you
I
want to
like
promote anything there? Blog post or book regarding this one?
oh my gosh, I write pretty frequently on my blog. I like the motto, be the change you wish to see. So that's why I write, is because I like to show, hey, you can have a super awesome life and it doesn't have to be all glitters and rainbows. It could be pretty, um, you know,
People
simple
like
life.
real. Yeah, people like it
Yeah.
real.
Yeah, I like to be relatable. And I mean, I don't know. It's just who I am, just wanting to be, um, I just live a pretty simple life. I live in a small town in Wisconsin. I'm just another person like everybody else. So I like to share that kind of stuff on my blog. And I've written a few books. One of them's a memoir, but that was like a total grand adventure type of a book. So, but yeah.
And you also have this great place where you record videos. I should also mention you have a Odyssey channel and a YouTube channel, and you have this place that you kind of write in. Now, is this like a sacred space kind of in the woods somewhere that's miraculously free of bugs and deer flies? I've been having that problem out here.
Well, it's not, no, it's not free from bugs and deer flies. We've had maybe 2 weeks this year where the bugs haven't been super bad. Um, but I think it's just this year. But this place is a manifestation too. It was just like a wrote a or I drew a floor plan of exactly what I wanted in a house, and then this place came out of nowhere, it seemed, and it was exactly what I wrote on that piece of paper, the floor plan.
So one of the
So
fundamental ideas of the law of attraction is you need to clearly identify what you want and then kind of get yourself in a mind space where you're able to bring that to fruition. And it really makes sense. And like like brings like, right? So if you're putting out good energy into the world, that's going to come back to you. And I just keep thinking about, imagine if children were taught this, just the different worldview we would have on life, and how that would kind of change the world. Like, do you have any comments on that?
Yeah, well, do you think that children are already tapped into that and they do it anyway, but it's parents that sort of tell them no and, oh, you shouldn't think that?
Well, parents are tyrants, and children have like a remarkable skill. Like, for example, children can learn languages much better than adults can. Like, a child can learn 5 different languages, no problem, and be fluent the rest of their life. But an adult will have to go to, you know, 5 years of French or whatever language you're trying to learn. So I think there is something to that, where there's something that's just kind of maybe when you turn like 18, you just have a choice where you want to ignore reality, or join reality and make something really great with your life. But you actually have spent a great deal of time living off grid. Now, what was that like?
Oh, it was interesting. There were 2 separate times that I lived off grid. The first time, just this whole like law of attraction thing, just like following the synchronicities, brought me to the Oregon coast, and it was pretty fun living there. And we were in this situation where we like needed to get out of this housing situation that we were in, and we knew somebody that had this off-grid cabin, and that was something that we wanted to do, was to try living off grid. So we refurbished the cabin a little bit and then we lived in it for 8 months off grid. And it was definitely super fun, but it was a lot of work because there was no running water. We had to heat the house with a wood stove. And I mean, we heat the house we live in now with a wood stove, but it was just like, it was a lot more rustic than this place that we're living in now. There's like no insulation. There was a greenhouse attached to the kitchen, and there was no barrier between it, so it would get cold. So it's a lot of maintenance, and we didn't have electricity, so just living by candlelight.
Yeah, I could see drawing a lot of inspiration from an experience like that. I have done similar things, but it was kind of like a glorified camping. Like, we would have like solar powered chargers and all this like ditzy stuff. So,
Yeah.
it's probably a little bit different. A lot of people actually, they kind of dream about doing this stuff, but they don't realize how much work it actually is.
Right.
And,
Or
how
like,
big of a lifestyle change it really is.
yeah. And just like the whole bathroom situation, having to shower from a bucket and having to like use a bucket for the bathroom, and having to manage.
A lot of these chemicals we're putting on ourselves are not very good for you, it turns out.
Oh no, well, totally.
And if you stop showering for enough time and you wear the right materials, you won't smell. Now, you can see this proof in people who have done it for a long time, or just animals. Like, animals don't put on any kind of, antiperspirant or
Sure.
mascara or anything like that. We put it on them, unfortunately, due to the animal test. Yeah, whatever. That's another conversation altogether. I also have to congratulate you, because with that comes a life kind of without social media, which is, I think, kind of driving people a little bit insane. So, what's that like, going without social media? You had a great video. I watched it on Odyssey. Now, Odyssey is one of the better platforms because it's without advertising. So, what was life like without, going full-blown granite slab all day?
Oh, sure. So at first it was kind of challenging because it is a total addiction, and I was using it for my business to reach people, but then I just decided that it was too much because all of the social movements are on there, and then all of this other stuff along with that is on there. It just like hits you, and it doesn't feel good mentally. So I've been feeling a lot better about myself. I've just gotten this huge boost of confidence and self-esteem has gone way up by not being on social media as a user and as like a content creator, because I don't know, it just affected me in a way where I wasn't seeing myself for who I really was. I was just trying to be like an influencer, you know what I mean? So I feel like I'm much more myself, and I just feel a lot more open and free with who I actually am.
One of the things I noticed when I kind of ditched a lot of this tech, I used to play like video games and stuff, but I just became a much more productive person. And not only just in work, but in personal life. And when you have no other choice, you're kind of just like, okay, well, what am I going to do today? And I also have another problem where I'm kind of like addicted to the little red likes. So you'd be like, I think they're designed so they're addictive, so you keep coming back, and there's like some dopamine hit in your mind. But it's good to get off of it. I still am on Instagram for so people don't start wondering if you're still alive and stuff like that. But again, I think it's a good idea that you chose to get into these creative outlets with becoming an author, a poet, and putting all these great plant-based recipes on your site. Now, are you still making these plant-based recipes and filming them?
See, we decided not to be plant-based because, well, we were plant-based for a long time because we were living in a warm climate. We were living in Sedona, Arizona for a while, and it was just easier to do that, I think, for like physical reasons. But we live in Wisconsin now, and we have winter, and it just, when winter comes, I've just been feeling so much more depleted. So I went back to eating animals, and it is what it is, and I enjoy it, and I don't feel bad about it at all. But I have been thinking about making some of my plant-based recipes again, because I find them so fun and inspiring, and they're always so colorful using all these vegetables.
Yeah, I have to just interrupt this because I love the videos where it's just a bowl and the person making it. I really don't like the whole like production of it when people like set up cameras all around their kitchen and they're got the haircuts going, and it seems like a little bit fake. But the fact that you were able to even make those while like, living off grid or whatever is pretty amazing. And again, like, I don't think you would be capable of doing this if you were still stuck in this, I need this many likes for my business, or I need to, get this Facebook post on every 2 days or else I'll lose customers and stuff like that. How has the business side changed now that you've kind of transitioned off? Has it been better?
So things have definitely shifted. I sort of, earlier this year, I just cut it all off. I was like, I'm done with this for a long time. And that's why I went out and I got a job at a tomato farm. And that's just a part of my life I really enjoy because I get to be with people, and I love working with tomatoes. I don't know what it is about tomatoes, but so it gave me a lot of time to, give myself space and room to finish projects that are really important to me that I wasn't able to put a lot of attention into, like my new book, Find Me in the Forest.
Yeah, I was hoping you'd. Yeah, okay, great.
Yeah.
I'm on the website now. I've just got this. Can you see this?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, so I can go there right now. It's it's in your store, right?
I don't have it up on my store yet because I'm going on vacation, but when I get back, it's going to be on my store. And yeah, so Find Me in the Forest. It is on Amazon if anybody wanted to find it there.
Okay, so you can buy the ebook on Amazon, or
or the print.
Hopefully soon.
Well, you can buy the print book on Amazon because it's print on demand.
Yeah, okay. And which was the first one you wrote, and what was the kind of the inspiration for it?
Oh, so my first book is A Year Against the Rain, and that's my memoir about living off-grid on the Oregon coast. So all the nitty-gritty details of that year that we were gone is are in that book. It's
Okay, it looks like you're holding a seal or
oh,
a kayak in that photo.
I'm not. I'm just running on the beach, um, in
And there
Waldport.
are birds on the big birds on the beach or those rocks.
No, they're definitely birds. I think that they're like seagulls or maybe pelicans, but I doubt it.
Okay,
But
well, since we're kind of talking about the water, I have another image I would like to share to you regarding the law of attraction. So what you're looking at now is a manta ray, and these manta rays travel with two little fish buddies who just attach themselves to the manta rays sometimes. So do you think that these fish are just attracted to the manta rays and they have similar goals? Or how do you think, because there's all sorts of examples of this kind of thing happening in nature, like the unlikeliest of friends. Now, sharks also travel with little sucker fish, right? For their
yeah.
whole lives, and they just kind of live harmoniously. It's only humans that really seem to have trouble with this. So I'd
Oh,
like
like
to get your comments on some of this stuff.
sure. Well, I suppose well, those fish, they clean the bigger animal, right? So it's just like a symbiotic relationship. They have this intelligence or this conscious awareness of each other, and the fish is like, "Ooh, I really need this food, and this is a really easy way to get it by sticking to this manta ray," right? And then the manta ray just needs something to clean it off because it's just floating around in the water. And if it, they just figured that out over time, I think.
And they're already
And
going there. They probably don't mind having like some
oh,
company.
totally.
Like it probably gets boring out there in the water sometimes, I would imagine.
Yeah.
I haven't lived on the coast in a long time. I was born in North Vancouver, Canada. I should be a little bit better on the water, but we'll get back there soon. Now, you've also had quite a bunch of travel experience. You've been to Ireland, you've been to Germany, you've actually been to Canada. You've been to have you been to Vancouver or British Columbia?
Yeah. So the thing that started traveling for me was in gardening and farming was doing a work exchange trip in Penticton in the
Oh,
Okanagan Valley.
yeah.
So we were there for a few months and just worked on the farm and rode some bicycles around, went swimming in the lake. And our host family, they took us to Vancouver and they dropped us off. Well, they went to a wedding or something, and we just walked around Vancouver for a weekend. And so, yep.
Penticton is actually like home base for elite level triathletes. I think that's the biggest one in Canada. That's where they all train in Penticton.
Really?
Yeah, so you mentioned cycling. I was like, are you
Oh, well, there's like the KVR, the bike trail. So I don't know, maybe that's where they train because it's a really long trail.
Yeah, Ironman is pretty serious. Now, when you are at work, you had mentioned that you listen to certain podcasts regarding consciousness and stuff like the law of attraction, just to enliven your day and help your life. What are your favorite kind of podcasts?
So I've just totally been on an Abraham Hicks kick lately, and my job is so like monotonous. I'm pruning tomatoes all day. So I just listen to Abraham and listen to people's stories and the response from Abraham. And it's really interesting. Earlier this year, I was listening to more astrology podcasts and learning more about the divine feminine and the goddess energy that is becoming more present in the world right now. So what else? There was
I would
this
like you
other.
to expand on that if you can.
Oh, sure. What about it?
The whole astral. I also kind of listen to some of like Fiona Edgar's podcast. She's an Irish astrologer. I'm not like astrology is a little bit one of the more peculiar sciences, but it's still a science, and there's definitely some truth to it. So we are making a transition from, would you say, like a more masculine energy to a more feminine?
Yeah, I would say, I mean, just the law of attraction is more of like a feminine energy because it's about allowing things into your life instead of forcing them into your life. It's about, you know, dreaming and imagining things and feeling them, right? And then they come to you, and it's about receiving. And I mean, just being able to receive something, you have to be able to be open to that. Like it's kind of a skill. This is how many people talk about, you know, wanting to be loved, and then they get love and then they reject it, right? Being able to receive that is a skill too. So it's
I've
like,
definitely been there. I mean,
yeah, or
I
like
had to shovel out some rotten stuff to fill it back
yeah.
up with some great stuff. So like, you know, like attracts like. If you say in the morning, you know, I'm gonna have a tremendous day, I think, you know, you have a much better chance of having a tremendous day just by, you know, obviously you have to thoroughly believe it. You can't really say it without any thrust. But sorry to interrupt you there. You're kind of on a good one, so continue, please.
Oh, well, like on that note, I do that every morning. I have like this, it's like a set uh few sentences that as soon as I wake up, I just like immediately tell myself, because I find that when I do, my days go so good and I'm just so filled with satisfaction and so filled with joy, and I find really amazing things, even in the really basic stuff. So I could touch on that a little bit. Like, I just ask that I live this day in alignment with myself and my heart. And then I ask that the day go with, there's like 7 words here: ease, grace, love, light, bliss, joy, and divine power for the good of all. And so it is. So I say things like that every morning. And if I find myself in, like during my day, if I'm not feeling good or something, I'll just come back to that. Just, I want to be in alignment with my heart and with my higher self. And may the rest of this day go this way for the good of all. And most of the time it works. And it's like satisfying that happens, you know?
I'm glad you mentioned that because that's really touching on an important thing to me. That thing is called present moment awareness, just kind of being in the now. I know you would kind of call those affirmations. I have listened to meditations before. I started with it, not really believing it would do anything. And when you have that feeling, they're just not going to do anything. But now I'm getting a lot from them. And, you know, just being in the present moment and is so empowering. And that's what I like about, you know, you and your videos. So, you know, what are your thoughts on the present moment awareness, and why do you think it's kind of lacking in our world?
So, well, I think, okay. Why is it lacking in the world? Because people are too focused on the external and not themselves. And this isn't about being selfish, but maybe it is. But we're like, when it comes down to it, we are the only person we're going to be with until we leave this earth plane, right? So we need to make sure that we're happy and we're taken care of. We need to be the best like parent for ourselves that we can, in a way. Just, I think that being happy is the most, or like making ourselves happy and satisfied is the most important thing. And there's nothing wrong with pleasure or satisfaction. I think that people have been taught that they shouldn't put themselves first and they shouldn't feel those things, because if they do, then they're bad, or they're vain, or extra, or they're wasting. But we live in an abundant universe, and we will always have everything that we need at all times in the present moment. So I think that's why people don't focus on that, or they don't even realize it, they're just being really hard on themselves and judging themselves. But I think that being in the present moment is so important, because it's the only moment that we're ever going to have.
Yeah, that's very profound that when you say stuff like that, because it's like the ultimate truth. I think self-love is really lacking in the world. One of the things that really turned my, really life around was just saying, I'm better than this. I deserve happiness. And everyone who's listening, watching, if you're on audio, video, you deserve, everything you want in life. You are going to have to make it happen yourself, but this is part of the shadow work. This is the tough stuff you have to do, and unfortunately, it's an individual process. I can't get directly involved in it, but I can definitely answer questions onto what helped me. Did you ever have one of these like dark night of the soul moments, or did it take like a year or like 10?
Yeah, I've had a lot of, like, it's happened to me a lot. And I mean, my childhood, looking back now, I understand it, and it's no longer traumatic. But if I, like 10 years ago, were to look back on that, I would say, yeah, I had a really toxic, traumatic childhood. So, like you said, the shadow work for sure. And there's definitely been times for me that I've had dark night of the soul, right? And like the most recent one happened over the winter when I just cut myself off from everything. I wanted to make sure that I was in alignment, and that anything that needed my attention or healing had that space where I wasn't putting what I was experiencing online, because it really was a super dark time for me. But after going through that, I am seeing how strong and resilient I am. And a lot of the things that I labeled as traumatic weren't actually, they were just really important lessons for me to learn to really come into myself more.
Yeah, it's a great thing we can talk about this. Too many people just keep these things wrapped up for way too long. They never talk about it, especially for men. Men just seem to just never ask for help. We're some of the worst when it comes to like asking for direction. So apparently we'll just drive like 50 miles in the wrong way instead of just stopping to talk to somebody. And I've actually noticed that I do that too. And women apparently will stop at the first person, and it makes life a lot easier. But so you made a video about this. It's called Star Seed. Now, what is a star seed?
So a star seed is somebody, well, and I think everybody's a star seed, because when it comes down to it, if you go and research galactic history and everything, it seems as though people were, maybe put here. And that's just a suggestion. It's, take it for what it is.
I have looked into the work of Lloyd and others like him, so I think what you're talking about and where you're going. So sorry to interrupt there.
Sure. No, but a star seed is somebody who, like, they feel like their soul isn't from planet Earth here. So they feel like they were put here for a mission. And I mean, there's like all kinds of star seed missions, and it gets really metaphysical and everything. And there's lots of places where like these people feel like they're from. It sort of starts with, like, in childhood, just having this affinity for the stars, and you look at the stars and the stars feel like home. So that happened to me. I was always looking at the stars, and I was really into like celestial stuff when I was a kid, and I had no idea what any of this was. Like, I was raised in a total 3D matrix life. So yeah, so I don't know, it's just this deep soul knowing that the soul or the spirit isn't from here.
Deep down, we all want to get back to the stars. I can prove this. Look at a lot of corporate logos. Like, look at the Subaru logo. It's stars. You
Hmm.
look at a lot of these gas company logos. They're the sun. They're reaching our subconscious because deep down, I think we know we don't really belong here. And some days I wake up and I'm thinking, am I in the wrong place here? Am I on the wrong planet? And plus, we have these miraculous dreams at night. Usually people sleep for like 6 to 8 hours. They never really study that stuff, but we're actually kind of leaving our body, our physical body, and going somewhere else. And I'm familiar with like Joe Bandel's work. He was, got me onto the whole meditation stuff. He's also known as the last Rosicrucian, but this also touches on the like the fairy realms. Like you can literally leave your body during a meditation. All you just have to do is put yourself in a mind space. You can also connect with other people doing this as well. Have you tried this or have you had any success?
um yeah, it's just interesting because I think you were saying something about the dreams and how we go to other places, and I totally go to other places. I have so many interesting dreams about past lives, or I'll like be on a ship or something, a spaceship, or um I was I had this friend, and they lived really far away and I never got to meet them. But we were having these similar experiences in dream time, and like meeting in dreams, which was really interesting. Um, and then there's people from my YouTube channel that will say, "Oh, I had a dream about you, and this and this and this happened." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm not surprised." I seem to be one of those dream traveling people.
I feel like I can go back in time sometimes and I'll be like having conversations with like my friends when I was like 5. It's
Oh,
like the
nice.
weirdest thing. And those keep coming back sometimes. I can't really explain it, but I think there definitely is something to these dreams. We need to, like Carl Jung does, study them, write them down. I'm not like super comfortable about talking to people about them because first of all, they think it's like crazy and I don't really remember them that well. Are you like a rememberer? Can you keep this stuff in?
Yeah, I keep a dream journal, and I've been doing this for a long time because along with like the star seed thing, I've been really interested in these galactic races, and one way that they can communicate with you is through dreams. So I will write down all my dreams when I wake up in the morning, and sometimes they'll come and visit me. Other times I'm just like having a normal dream that can help me with my life in some way. um yeah, dreams are just so interesting, and I find that it's they're very symbolic, and the way that you understand them is by understanding the symbology um behind them. So just keeping a journal and seeing what the common themes are with your dreams can give you a lot of insight on what they're trying to tell you.
Would you say it's kind of like a lesson? Like they're there to teach you something?
Sure, they can teach you something. They can, I mean, sometimes for me, it's just like having memories from other lifetimes or something, but I also ask for that. So you can be really intentional with your dreams and ask for uh, specific things to be revealed or whatever. And usually that happens for me.
I don't have social media in my dreams. I'll tell you that right now.
Hmm.
I guess maybe the younger people now do, and they're kind of, having a different kind of experience than we are because one thing you had mentioned in one of your videos is that civilizations like they tend to abuse their technology. That's why they kind of fail. Are you seeing any of that kind of going on in the world?
I do kind of see it, and it's interesting. I mean, I also purposely keep myself away from mainstream stuff, and I don't keep up with current events unless it comes in through one of my friends or something. But um I mean, there was something going on in Switzerland with, it was called CERN, and there were, it was like Stranger Things, I swear, like the show Stranger Things. They were opening up some sort of a portal at this laboratory in Switzerland, and I don't think they were successful, but that's definitely something that could ripple and affect not only our world, but the whole universe. It's just like, it's kind of destructive.
You know, there's all sorts of things that separate us from every other animal in the world. We're not really well adapted to living in the wild. Now, Lloyd Pye has a list of like 15 of these things. Our skin is really like weak compared to a chimpanzee or something like that. We're like, we would get our asses whipped basically every single time. But we are kind of running out of time right now. I am going to have to open the floor to you and ask you first of all, what are you working on right now, and where can people find you?
So like I said, I just came out with my new book, Find Me in the Forest. And I mean, you can find that on my website in a couple weeks, but it's also on Amazon. My website is called adventuresacross.com. So you could find everything about me on there. I pretty much put it all on the table. And then I have a Telegram channel if anybody uses Telegram, and I will leave updates for blog posts and new videos there. I'm on YouTube, Adventures Across. I'm also on Odyssey, which is also Adventures Across.
You can get free money if you join Odyssey. Crypto.
Oh yeah, I totally into that. That's why I joined. It's so cool. And what am I working on right now? I do have another memoir book that is in the works. I always have like 10 book projects going at once, but I'm also working on some new paintings, and actually I'm working on a t-shirt line. So this one is Rockets of Desire.
I saw that on the site. Yeah.
Yeah. So those are some new things that will be coming out.
Awesome. It was a pleasure to have you. I'd be an honor to have you back again, because I think we could just go on and on about any one of these subjects.
Totally.
We're actually completely out of time. So thanks everybody, and make sure you stay fly and have a good night. Remember to follow me on BitChute, Odyssey, YouTube, Minds, in real life, and email me at stupassmore@protonmail.com. Have a great day, everybody.
Bye.